Hi everybody, it's Doug Ross with another bass lesson for you. Today I'd like to talk about your plucking hand approach and how the position of your right hand affects the tone of your bass. I did talk in a previous video about the different controls on the bass and how you can get different sounds by adjusting your settings. But the reality is, I think most experienced players, if you talk to them, will tell you that 80% of your sound comes from your hand, not from the settings on your bass. And a lot of times on a gig you won't have time to adjust the controls anyway. You really have to be able to adapt to the different contexts very fast just by adjusting your touch, your position, and the angle of attack to the string. So that's what I'd like to demonstrate today. And I've set my bass at a pretty neutral, flat setting, really. And I'm not going to touch any of the knobs. I just want to demonstrate playing some different bass lines in different positions to give you an idea of the different sounds you can get. So, you know, the sort of default position that a lot of players use is playing somewhere around the front pickup here. And that's a good sound for a lot of contexts. You know, rock, blues, R&B kind of styles. That's very often the best place to play. I can play something like... And it's a good sound there. You know, it's full enough, but not too full. It's not too thin. It's a good sound for a lot of styles. But in other stylistic contexts, that might not be appropriate, like when I'm playing jazz, for example. And I do play a lot of jazz on bass guitar. In that context, the traditional instrument is upright bass, whether you like it or not. And I like it, but I happen to play bass guitar, and of course this is never going to sound exactly like an upright bass. But the closer I can get to that sound, the more stylistically authentic it's going to sound. And if you look at upright bass players, when they play, they're approaching the instrument this way, right? Their hand is sort of over the fingerboard, or just off the end of the fingerboard, and they're actually plucking with sort of the side of their finger, getting a lot of flesh across the string with every stroke. And with a little practice and a light touch, you can get the same effect, the same sort of technique on bass guitar. I'm actually playing over the fingerboard. And let me play a walking bass line for you and watch my right hand, and I think you'll hear the difference. I didn't change any of the settings on my bass, just my approach. Very full sound, much fuller than the sound I was getting before, and I didn't change any settings or my volume or anything. I just changed my right hand approach. So that's one extreme, playing over here, right? Then the other extreme would be playing over your bridge pickup, which gives you a much faster, sort of tighter response. The actual tension of the strings is higher over here, and you get, some people call it more mid-rangey. You definitely get a faster response, so it's good for fast lines or articulate short notes, that sort of thing. A lot of people call it the Jaco sound because I guess Jaco was the first guy associated with really playing off the sound of the bridge pickup most of the time. So it's good for lines like this, maybe. Something like that. It's a totally different sound. You wouldn't think it was the same instrument even that I was playing before. But there you have it. That's three totally different sounds from one bass, one setting. I didn't touch my amp or my bass at all. And I'd like you to just explore that. Of course your bass is going to sound different than mine, but explore all the possibilities and try to be conscious about your right hand choices when you're playing. Good luck with it. I'll see you.